Go and ask Ribadu. He's still trying to find his feet. Now go back and ask Farida Waziri. She had to leave. By the time she left Nigeria, she had to go find her feet again, until somebody said, look, you can come back now, you are free. But in this case, if you think that Magu did anything wrong as a police officer, you know what to do. Don't go and start writing, he was suspended, then he was brought back because his friend was there. I know Maina Waziri. Maina Waziri is a decent gentleman. Police Service Commission is the one in charge of all such things. And if you go and ask the Police Service Commission, they'll tell you they have thousands of letters and petitions from people against policemen. Just like National Judicial Council has. It is what the substance you provide that determines where you're going. I've never met Magu, but I don't like the way they handle cases. Was it not Magu who came out and accused judges of defending people who have been accused of crime? Shouldn't we defend them? Is it you now accuse somebody, then the judge says, bam. And today, any judge who gives judgment against the FCC, against Directorate of State Security, becomes an enemy and a target for persecution.
That's what's happening now.
That is what is happening now. I want you to go and check this thing I said.
Sorry, Nyota, you're very sure of this?
I am very sure as a lawyer that if you give judgment against EFCC or DSS, you are in trouble.
But then these two people, these two bodies have been working together. So why would they now begin to fight themselves?
Rivalry as to who has the ears of Mr. President is not new. It has always been there.
I'm looking at some of the headlines today, and they say Magu fights back, you know, vow to make more arrests. What does that mean in the face of what is happening, knowing full well that we're also getting news reports that the president has instituted an investigative panel to look into that of Mr. Magu and his SGF?
Most of these things are, most of the time, this thing is syndicated press management. They want you to read a certain portion. At times they say you are planning this. How will they know you are planning it? It's still in your mind that the man intends to do so. So as it is today, don't believe any of those stories, either for or against. They're all fighting for their political lives. The National Security Advisor is in a supervisory position over the Director of SSS, the Director General. But find out whether he signed that letter that went to the National Assembly. It wasn't him.
But should there be any report on Mr. Magu? Shouldn't, because we've been asking this question, as a lawyer, tell us your understanding of, vetting by the DSS, which is directly on the executive arm. Shouldn't the president also be aware of any untoward report of his nominee? Okay.
In fact, it is an embarrassment to Mr. President. Embarrassment in capital letters. He nominated Magu. A department under him vetoed it through their own reports. In other words, Mr. President says, I want to go to the right. Then the other side is moving in the other direction. That is what is going on now. And remember, it's not new in presidential politics. Charles de Gaulle, when he was there in France, they went and investigated and found out that was a Russian spying agency. And he tore the report. He said, you cannot disgrace me. So what is happening to Magu and the role of DSS is nothing but an embarrassment to Mr. President. He should put his house in order. There is no reason why you have two boys who are working for you, and this one is trying to gain your attention by blackmailing the other person or bad-mouthing the other person. That is what is going on now.
Let's go to Abuja now. Mark Ware.
Do you think this will have on the war against corruption?
It will have a lot of impact because up till now, the monopoly of using this kind of media trial has been working effectively. So for the first time, we're seeing that this thing may not even be true. All kinds of fabricated stories will be made to look like the real story. But with this Magu incident, it's a case of an expert in media trial fighting another expert in media trial. so they will slug it out. But also Magu himself, as acting chairman of EFCC, is a damaged product. And the man who damaged him will even become more powerful.
You think this
Yes.
has made him look really bad?
Yes, it has dented him. And if you really want to know this thing I call power play and rivalry, go and read El Rufai's book, The Accidental Public Servant. He narrated this kind of power play under Obasanjo. So it's nothing new. The DSS, since President Muhammadu Buhari came in, has been the most powerful person. Even though it's under the National Security Advisor, the National Security Advisor does not seem to have any power or control over him. The letter that went to the Senate should have been signed by the National Security Advisor. It's under him. The one that went to the National Judicial Council should have emanated from the National Security Advisor.
But again, whether you say there's any true but we'll have to look at truth in it. We'll have to look at what is there in the public space. There's also this alleged affinity between Mr. Magu and the NSA. I see a smile on your face because we'll have to put that in perspective. So perhaps this is making more meaning to your analysis of someone jumping over another office to get the letters somewhere.
Okay. Let me explain what I think is happening. There is two broad divisions fighting for president's attention. In fact, being the authoritative voice in terms of anything concerning the president. Magu and the National Security Advisor on one side. Then SGF, Chief of Staff, and the DSS are on the other side. Remember that these are people who have direct access to Mr. President. Every morning, they just have the chance to say, Mr. President, I think this, Mr. President, I think that. All the others are outsiders. So as it is today, if I want President Muhammadu Buhari to appoint you as the next Minister for Environment, it is when he's having his breakfast that I can chip it in.
In fact, we'll come back and explore more, because these are some of the things we were hoping you would tell us, because if they get some kind of meeting with the president almost on a daily basis, one wonders if that shouldn't have gotten to the president, so that the president will say, okay, this perhaps calls for a withdrawal or an in-depth look into the character of the gentleman in question. But that will be when we return after now.